Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Donboxing, and today for you I have a gaming IEM. Oh yeah, let's go gaming! Die Tangzu, Xue Tao XT1, I actually forgot how that was called and the packaging is not helping me here. So, this IEM is looking pretty normal from the box so far. There's also no frequency response given, but what this thing should be able to do, quickly remove the plastic. This should come with a cable that has a mic, which you don't see often directly included in IEMs. So, I'm pretty curious how this mic does, and I have actually the right dongle for the job as well here, so I will be able to tell you how this works if you have the right equipment. And first, the box is kind of black, purple, dark, with a woman in a Chinese dress slash kimono. I don't know how to distinguish them, honestly. Again, not my style, but it's gaming, so it's very important. Thankfully, you can see the box here at the back is a bit larger than on the front, so you can just hold it like that and remove. That's nice to see. And we get a cleaning cloth with the same print on. Okay, great. But now, check out the IEM here. That actually does look pretty cool in real life, I have to confess. What is missing though, an opening flap. You can see there's nothing around here, so you need to go in with your fingernail and remove this. And first, I think before we come to IEM, let's see what else we get here. Cable, also labeled, and then this is just labeled as Tangzu. So I assume you get the actual Tangzu ear tips with this. And again, there's no flap here, so it's a bit difficult to remove. But I did make it. And let's remove the cable then. And open the packaging this comes with. And see what you get here. Whoop. This goes out of the picture. And this as well. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Okay. Oh, and I forgot, later on we also be looking at the Azla Foamax. So yeah, we also check that out. So that's the cable. I can already tell you these are two relatively thin cores. So far, whenever they had a cable that had a mic, doesn't matter if it's inline or not, I always thought the cores were too thin. It was a bit too tangly. And this one is no exception here. Let me quickly try to straighten it. And yeah, I mean, you can see, like, I just tried to straighten it and it immediately bounces back. Ooh. Not a great start. Again, black cylinder, no friction, no contouring, nothing. So not a great start either with the bottom. Strain release though is a bit hard, but should do something. A bit too hard though. The two cores here are definitely too thin. Their twisting is done evenly enough. And it's just rubber. Like, it's not silicone, it's just rubber. I'm not greatest fan of the feeling of rubber, I have to say. And then here the splitter, again just matte black and fits the style. And then you can see also the top cable immediately tangled for me, so not a great start. Continuing, not so great, the chin slider has basically no friction. Literally just shake it a bit, it moves slightly, so also not nice. And then, well, the part that is nice, you can see here, there's an L indicator, blue, and bar indicator here. And as you can see, this is the MMCX, the 2-pin that goes into IEM. But on top, we can, I think... No, wait, this is... Okay, wait, no, like that. Okay, so the cable, or the microphone goes in like this. I think, you know, like that. How does this go in? Okay. Don't want to break it. Yeah, no, just goes in like this. I was correct in the first time. So... It comes with a boom mic here, and, oh no, it's supposed to be this way around. So here's the inside. There's no plop protection here, so it probably will sound a bit weird. But rubberization on top is also not the most springy. Relatively thick, as you can see here. Thankfully, the bending radius is relatively normal or average, so you shouldn't have an issue there. And let me quickly give it a bend to see how flexible it is. Relatively flexible, like to see that. Yeah, but overall, I mean, for an IEM that comes in at like 50 bucks, I think the cable is acceptable. I just wish there would have been a bit thicker cores overall. But yeah, next, let's check out the ear tips. It's exactly one set. And, oh, no, wait, this is multiple. This looks like it's more than one set inside. Let me open this and... pour our ear tips out. Oh, we get a new set. Wait, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think I've seen these ear tips so far from Tangzu. This looks like another clone of the sound cocoon, which I will get here in the picture. You can see here the core in the middle is definitively colored, the top is not. We have a bit thicker ring around the outlet, and yeah, it looks like it's a clone of the Rose Techniques one. Respectively, I'm pretty sure it's the same OEM making all of them. And then we get the normal Tangzu tips, which I did generally do enjoy, but not my favorite. Something that I do want to point out though, if you can see, if you compare here, this is still a bit different. The core here is way thicker. That means, yeah, it squishes a bit more difficult. Like this one is easier to squish with Sound Cocoon than this one here. So that's a difference. And another one, the outlet of the Tangzu, I don't know how these are even called, Tangzu, just liquid silicone, is also definitely quite a bit bigger here. Diameter-wise, though, these look like they're pretty much identical overall. So this should fit on most IEMs, and material-wise, they also look like they're identical. So actually, we'll probably try these out, because that's a wider outlet liquid silicone ear tip here, and you also notice again, it's pretty sticky, and this is my preferred material for ear tips. But let's come back to the IEM. Let's check out the bad boy here. So, while looking pretty cool, it feels a bit plasticky. This definitively is not resin. I can already tell you this is plastic. And it does also feel like, okay, the faceplate is, can already tell you, yeah, the faceplate is the heavy part, okay. So the faceplate is made out of metal, but the rest is plastic. So that means it feels a bit unevenly distributed in terms of weight, which can be a problem, because if it's sitting like this in your ear and the weight is all the way outside, it will do like this and fall out of your ear. But let's start with the inside here. R indicator here in white printing on there. There's one pressure hold here and here at the back. They go for an basically paper film for tuning here on the front. Not the greatest fan of those. They tend to clog even more, and if you have a metal IEM, they will lead to condensation. Shouldn't be an issue here because we have no metal on the shell here, so there shouldn't be condensation, but I'm still not a fan of this type of filter. At least it seems to be glued in well. I see no glue residues or anything around. And then let's check out the top here. So this definitely goes for a bit more gamery optic as well. But it does look cool in real life. This, I want to say, like reflective, I don't know, metal shards here do look pretty cool. And I think the optics, I have to say, definitely one of the better looking IEMs I have checked out. And then let me quickly see, I had here the right side, so that should also be, I think, what the cable goes in. Oh, did I plug this in the wrong way around? Wait, let me just check. Does it also go in like this? No, it does not. Okay. Heh. So, that means like this. But then, oh no, wait, okay, you can just rotate this. Okay. Is me stupid? It's just me stupid. No worries, ladies and gentlemen, you just rotate the arm a bit. So it will go in your ear like that. And I need to plug it in correctly, and then that's the mic out here. And one more thing that I want to mention about these, they have a glass diaphragm. So I have never heard that. I'm pretty curious how this sounds like. I'm also not sure how durable it is in case you would fall or let it fall. Pretty curious, but yeah, I can't say more. And then after we unbox this, let me quickly remove the ear tips. And then we also check out the Azla Foamax here. So, these are out since a couple of years. I have not gotten around to try them. So, I now ordered them because, again, I managed to stack some discounts. And great start, directly breaking the plastic here. So, yeah, this is not actually just stamped together. This is glued together with, or like stamped together with feet. So, you can't just open it. Okay, I will make a cut here and then open this. Whew, okay, ladies and gentlemen, I finally managed to open these. It only took forever. So, this is the back here, and you can see I have S, which is 11.2 millimeters. Should definitively be a bit bigger for the S, or should be an SS, which unfortunately doesn't exist. Length 8.8 millimeter, and yeah, let's see how they feel. So, let's remove them. But side note here, opening them was a pain in the ass. I will have a time skip so you can see me struggling to open this. But opening it, really pain in the ass. The worst ear tip packaging I've seen so far. Foam-wise, this is relatively dense and definitively slow rebound. You can see like how long it takes to come back. All other slow rebound in quotes ear tips I had so far definitively had a faster rebound than this. The foam is also pretty damn soft, and you have a wax guard here in the middle, as you can see. And unlike with some of the Compli sound tips, they use this like felt wax guard, very thin. Here they actually have a silicone one. And I think this probably is integrated directly in the silicone core here in the middle. Material-wise, yeah, it's also not sticky at all. It's pretty damn smooth for a foam ear tip. And, sorry, this will be a bit dirty, but the only foam tip I sometimes still use is the BGVP foam tip here. As you can see, also silicone core here. A relatively thin layer of foam around though. But as you can also see, it's relatively short and more like, I want to say, ball shape. So that means it does fit me pretty damn well. Also has a wax guard here, but this one is made out of a very thin fabric. Not the most lasting, so this one should definitely do a better job here. But shapement-wise, this one is my favorite one so far for foam tips. And this one here, I'm not sure. It definitely is also not as short as I would like for a tip of 11 millimeters. Again, as I said, a 10 millimeter one would be better for people with small ear canals. But yeah, overall, well, let's see how that is. And then quick first impressions for the Xue Tao. So I put this in my ear, started some music, and everything sounded right. There was absolutely nothing to complain here. There was enough treble, the mids were not too drowned, maybe slight bass bleed, but actually not too much. There was also an extension that is not amazing, but enough for basically all genres. And even the imaging and staging was actually pretty damn good. And if we now look at a frequency response, I mean, you can see why. Let me directly throw in 0.2 as comparison here, or cadenza. I decide later on what I will show you here. So yeah, you can see this is measuring really nicely, and I think for gaming IEM this is superbly measuring. And yeah, I will just need some more time to tell you how good it sounds in detail. That's it. If you enjoyed it, leave a comment, and if not, yeah, please also leave a comment and tell me what I can improve here. So yeah, questions, recommendations, criticisms, leave comment below, and Donspektor out.